Have you ever wondered where the voices behind those unforgettable 1970s hits disappeared to? You know, the songs that defined a generation with funky beats or soulful ballads, only for the artist to vanish from the spotlight. From the disco guitar riffs of Wild Cherry's Play That Funky Music, to the sing-along classic of Love Grows by Edison Lighthouse, we're tracking down 10 iconic one-hit wonders, uncovering their stories of overnight fame and what they did after the music stopped. Their tales are full of surprises. Let's dive into where the forgotten one-hit wonders of the 70s disappeared to. Stuck in the Middle with You by Stealers Wheel burst onto the scene, first released in September 1972 in the US and May 1973 in the UK. It climbed to number 6 on the Billboard Hot 100 and number 8 on the UK charts, earning a gold disc for over 1 million in sales in the US alone. Its folk rock sound and witty lyrics, poking fun at the music industry, made it a standout hit. But behind this catchy tune, trouble was brewing. Tensions between key members Jerry Rafferty and Joe Egan tore at the band's core. Rafferty even left before the debut album dropped, only returning due to the song's surprise success. Later albums like Ferguson Park in 1973 flopped, and by 1975, Stealers Wheel was done, unable to recapture that early magic. The split sent the two on different paths. Rafferty soared solo with Baker Street in 1978, becoming a huge name, while Egan struggled to match that success with his own releases. Yet their hit endures, popping up in ads and films over the years. Now let's shift gears to another 1970s smash that brought a unique flair to the charts, blending a very different kind of energy. But before that, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel.
Everybody was kung fu fighting.
Carl Douglas's Kung Fu Fighting dominated 1974, but what happened to him after that massive hit? Released in August 1974, this track soared to number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100 and the Soul Singles chart in the US, while also topping charts in the UK, Australia, and Canada, selling over 11 million copies globally. It remains one of the best-selling singles of all time, a feat tough to match. Many labeled the song a novelty hit, and that tag stuck. His follow-up, Dance the Kung Fu, only reached the UK Top 20 and didn't chart in the US, cementing Douglas as a one-hit wonder in many markets. The song's success tied directly to the 1970s martial arts film boom, with Bruce Lee's influence at its height. As that trend waned by the decade's end, so did the space for similar tracks, leaving Douglas in a tough spot. Did he disappear from music or find another path? Carl kept releasing songs, scoring minor UK hits. Later, he moved to Germany and started a production company, creating music for films and ads. Royalties from Kung Fu Fighting still roll in as it pops up in movies and commercials. Let's turn now to a heartfelt tune from the early 1970s that told a story of longing and captured listeners everywhere.
You're a fine girl, what a good wife.
Brandy, You're a Fine Girl by Looking Glass became a massive hit in 1972. But what happened to the band after their moment in the sun? Released in May 1972, this pop rock track climbed to number 1 on both the Billboard Hot 100 and Cashbox Top 100, holding strong for 16 weeks with heavy radio support across the US. A major shift came when lead guitarist and co-vocalist Elliot Lurie left in early 1974 to chase a solo career. His exit shook the group's foundation, stalling their chart success. Without Lurie's touch, Looking Glass struggled to recreate the storytelling charm that defined their hit. And later releases lacked the same emotional pull for fans. Radio played a huge role in Brandy's rise, especially WPGC in Washington, D.C. Their constant spins triggered such a flood of listener calls that the station's switchboard couldn't keep up. This frenzy pushed their record label to rush the single's release, though no follow-up ever sparked that same excitement. Did the band fade away after this? Members took separate paths in music, with Lurie landing a solo spot on the Easy Listening chart. Brandy got a fresh boost in 2022 through Better Call Saul, hitting number 1 on Billboard's Top TV Songs chart and reaching new ears. Now let's shift to a track that came straight from a spontaneous moment and got the crowd moving. Play That Funky Music by Wild Cherry exploded in 1976, but what became of them after that funky breakthrough? This Ohio band dropped the track in April 1976, and it rocketed to number 1 on both the Billboard Hot 100 and the Billboard Soul chart, showcasing its incredible crossover appeal. Earning platinum status for over 2 million sales in the U.S., it also nabbed them a Billboard Award for Best Pop Group. Internationally, it peaked at number 5 in Australia and number 7 in the UK. They disbanded in late 1979 after failing to repeat their hit formula, with their final album not even reaching the top 100. The song's origin at a Pittsburgh club where a fan shouted, "Are you white boys gonna play some funky music?" to drummer Ronald Beidle. Frontman Rob Parisi penned the track in just 5 minutes, but that spontaneous magic was tough to recreate in a changing music scene. Did they walk away from music or pivot? Parisi shifted to producing smooth jazz, working with artists like Steve Oliver. Guitarist Brian Bassett found success with hard rock bands like Foghat. The song itself endured, even sparking a $500,000 lawsuit on a Vanilla Ice sample. Now, let's turn to a late 1970s groove that carried a distinctive sound all its own. Anita Ward's Ring My Bell became a defining hit in 1979, but what path did she take after? Released in May 1979, this song claimed number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100, Hot Soul Singles, and dance charts. It also topped charts in the UK and Canada, hitting number 3 in Australia, selling over 1 million copies worldwide. It was a summer staple in taxis and dance clubs. Personal setbacks and the decline of disco impacted Ward's career. Her follow-up, Make Believe Lovers, didn't chart, while Don't Drop My Love only reached number 87 on the Hot 100. Her album, Sweet Surrender in 1979, produced no charting singles, and Wherever There's Love in 1989 was only released overseas. As the 1980s shifted away from disco, her sultry style found little space to thrive. The song's bold lyrics with hints of innuendo matched late 1970s trends. Originally written for a younger singer with phone chat themes, it was adapted for Ward with mature tones. Did she leave music behind or hold on? Ward reduced touring but still sings Ring My Bell at events like New Year's Eve in Times Square in 2002. In 2019, she was honored by the National Black College Alumni Hall of Fame Entertainment Branch. Now, let's move on to an upbeat melody from the start of the decade that captured hearts with its playful spirit. Love Grows Where My Rosemary Goes by Edison Lighthouse charmed listeners in 1970. But what happened to them after? Released in January 1970, it debuted unusually high for a new act on the UK Top 40 and climbed to number 1 for 5 weeks. It also hit number 5 on the US Billboard Hot 100, number 3 in Canada, and number 3 in South Africa. Its bright, catchy sound won fans fast. The studio group, fronted by session singer Tony Burrows, faced trouble over their faceless identity. A BBC ban on Burrows for singing with multiple bands on Top of the Pops damaged their push. Without a true band image, Edison Lighthouse couldn't sustain the hype beyond that first smash. The song's sweet melody and light lyrics about a carefree woman as instant draws. Yet doubts over authenticity blocked more wins. Follow-ups like She Works in a Woman's Way missed the charts, and It's Up to You, Petula only reached number 49 in the UK. Did they fade for good or get a second chance? Burrows kept recording with acts like Brotherhood of Man. Then in 2021, Love Grows blew up on TikTok, scoring a 1,490% stream surge and re-entering Spotify's US Top 200. Now, let's explore a harmony-filled track that brought a warm glow to the mid-1970s.
And we know the night is always gonna be here anyway.
Afternoon Delight by Starland Vocal Band soared to number 1 in 1976. But what became of them after? Released in April 1976, it topped the US Billboard Hot 100 on July 10th and earned a gold record for massive sales. It clinched 2 Grammys in 1977, specifically for Best Arrangement for Voices and Best New Artist. Its warm harmonies and catchy tune offered a fresh vibe that connected with fans across many borders. Personal challenges unraveled the band by the early 1980s. The core husband-wife pair, Bill Danoff and Taffy Nevert, divorced after the group's end. Another couple, John Carroll and Margaret Chapman, also split later. These broken relationships reflected the band's struggle to stay united or produce more hits. No other song came close to their first success. Their sunny folk pop sound stood out against the 70s disco dominance. Billboard named it the 20th sexiest song in 2010 for its subtle allure. Did they abandon music or find a new way to share their sound? All members pursued solo work but landed no big hits. They hosted a brief CBS variety show in 1977 with a young David Letterman. Reunions in 1998 saw them perform occasional concerts with children of original members, echoing a family legacy. Now, let's shift to a song with a gritty edge that shook things up in the late 1970s. Black Betty by Ram Jam electrified listeners in 1977, but what followed that explosive start? Released in June 1977, this hard rock reworking of a traditional African-American work song peaked at number 18 on the Billboard Hot 100 and number 7 in the UK. It also reached number 3 in Australia and number 4 in the Netherlands. Its pounding drum intro and fierce guitar riff turned it into a stadium classic. Controversy flared over its origins and lyrics, with groups like the NAACP and CORE calling for boycotts due to perceived racial insensitivity. The attention likely boosted its profile, but it made lasting success tricky. As a partly manufactured band built around guitarist Bill Bartlett's earlier recording with Starstruck, Ram Jam struggled with internal issues. Members complained of unpaid royalties, and lead vocalist Mike Scavone faced legal troubles, speeding their split. Their 1978 album failed to chart, unable to match that initial energy. Did they step away from music or push on? After breaking up, frustration over payments lingered, but Scavone later joined the Doughboys and the Yardbirds, still performing. Black Betty endures as a rock staple in movies and games. Now, let's turn to a melody that carried a lighter, joyful spirit from the early 1970s. Dancing in the Moonlight by King Harvest spread pure joy in 1972. But where did they go after that? Released in July 1972, it reached number 13 on the Billboard Hot 100 and number 10 on the Cashbox Top 100. It also hit number 5 in Canada. Fans couldn't resist its upbeat keyboard melody and its optimistic lyrics about peaceful evenings. Their debut album, also named Dancing in the Moonlight, came out in 1973, but failed to make a mark. It didn't reach the Billboard 200 Top 100, and no other singles caught on. The bankruptcy of their label, Perception Records, cut off distribution, making promotion nearly impossible. Constant member changes added to the struggle, preventing the band from building on their early success with that feel-good sound. The song's roots lie in a dark moment. Songwriter Sherman Kelly wrote it while recovering from an assault, crafting a vision of joyful escape. Did they disappear after these setbacks, or carry on? Though the band faded, members like Rod Novak and Ed Talusha kept playing, working with the Beach Boys on tours and recordings. The song still shines today, getting a fresh boost on TikTok in 2020. Let's move on to another powerful sound from the 1970s that left its own unforgettable mark. Mississippi Queen by Mountain blasted through 1970. But what obstacles did they face after? Released in February 1970, it became a hard rock staple, peaking at number 21 on the Billboard Hot 100. Its unforgettable cowbell intro, born from either drummer Corky Lang's weariness during takes or producer Felix Pappalardi's deliberate direction, paired with Leslie West's gritty Gibson Les Paul guitar through a Marshall amp, made it iconic. Drug abuse within the band and Pappalardi's hearing loss from relentless touring triggered their breakup in 1972. Albums like Nantucket Sleigh Ride, which reached number 16, couldn't produce another hit to match their debut single. Their heavy schedule and personal battles crushed their chart momentum. Substance struggles piled on pressure, cutting their early success short. The song's guitar power was seen as a building block for early heavy metal. Guitar Magazine placed it at number 10 on its 1995 Heaviest Riffs list. Did they quit or keep pushing? Leslie West went solo with mixed results, facing health challenges until his death in 2020. He played on Ozzy Osbourne's 2005 cover, which hit number 10 on the mainstream rock chart. Pappalardi passed in 1983. Mississippi Queen still stands as a rock cornerstone. Let's take a moment to reflect on the journeys of these artists and the songs that defined an era. As we look back on these 1970s one-hit wonders, it's clear their music still holds a special place. Their stories show that a single hit can be just the start. Which artist's path caught you off guard? Share your memories of hearing these songs on the radio or at disco clubs back then in the comments. Or did we miss one of your favorites? Don't forget to like and subscribe for more music history.